Bueno, muy buenas tardes nuevamente. Les agradezco su participación y pues en este momento me permito presentar la actividad que se titula Swarmscape, Música y Naturaleza Artificial. Para esta presentación contamos con una grata participación de dos estudiantes canadienses que nos acompañan desde la Universidad Concordia de Canadá, Montreal, Mike Cassidy y Christian North. Mike es artista de sonido computacional, estudia composición electroacústica en la Universidad de Concordia en Montreal. Christian, en cambio, es músico y compositor, vive y trabaja también en Montreal, Canadá. Actualmente estudia composición electroacústica en la misma universidad. Ellos nos presentarán su proyecto musical y podremos oír esa performance musical. Así que, sin más preámbulos, démosle la bienvenida a Mike y Christian.
Hello. Hola.
Hi, Ola. Mike, you want to talk?
Yeah. So, thank you for having us today. Apologies, we're speaking mostly in English today. But yeah, allow us to introduce ourselves and our history with ICDHS. We are both students from Concordia University in Montreal, Canada. And this summer, we both got the opportunity to study for a week at ICDHS with the field school. And so we got to meet a lot of students and some of the professors, and we got some great feedback on the project that we've been working on, and we're very happy to have been invited back to present our project for the festival. Our project is called Swarmscape, and it is a artificial life generative ecosystem. A little background on both of our practices. I am a software engineer, and Christian is a composer and musician. And both of us are in the electroacoustics program at Concordia University. So, without further ado, we should begin.
I guess. You can keep going.
Yeah. So, the basis of Swarmscape is on swarming and swarm dynamics. In a virtual implementation, swarming can be replicated with three basic rules, which was developed in a flocking algorithm from Craig Reynolds in the 80s. In this simulation, the three rules are separation, alignment, and cohesion. And by implementing those three rules, you can create a swarming algorithm. So we took this basis of this simulation and we first applied it to granular synthesis. Granular synthesis is a microsound technique where a sample or a waveform is played in very small sections, often 1 to 50 milliseconds. These tiny slices, usually called grains, are then reorganized and played in dispersed directions. The microtime scale of playing a grain allows exploration of parts of a sound that occur beyond human hearing, and in practice often uncover new sounds within a sound, or microsound. Playing many grains at once, sometimes hundreds at a time, creates what is commonly called a grain cloud, resulting in sounds that resemble the acoustic profile of the granular materials they are named after. So this on the top here is an example of a granular flocking synthesizer that I created in the fall of last year.
So I guess at the macro level or something, the idea of the question that Mike and I were working with was the idea of a natural ecosystem as a control, musical control. So this has been explored. I don't know, you have a bunch of examples, right?
Sure, yes. This is a classic example that we implemented of an artificial ecosystem. So the animals or the agents must live, die, and eat to survive, and their behaviors are considered a feedback loop, which is survival of the fittest, essentially. And so, as we said, we've used the system that we've created to control the composition. So this is an extension of generative composition and generative system.
Yeah. Essentially, like, if the system is a control for the music, then we can consider all of the life forms within the system as the performers in the composition. So when you watch this, you're going to see different type of artificial life species that are interacting with each other, and their behaviors are mapped to sound sources, essentially. So.
And this composition, using sounds of nature, falls under the category of soundscape. So what we've done is take recordings that I took in the jungle, some in Colombia and Costa Rica, and repurposed them to populate the sounds of this environment. This is often called soundscape composition. And successful soundscape composition helps to raise new awareness of the sound that you have placed into this environment which you were creating.
I think something that's interesting about this piece too is that it comes from a natural soundscape, and then we're kind of creating a digital soundscape out of the natural soundscape that we've recorded. So that's an important point.
Yep. And to extend this concept, we view the sounds that these animals create as a form of eco-composition. So there's a lot of human-centric composition traditionally, but what we want is to have it be non-centralized, non-hierarchical, and instead asking the listener to engage with this composition, which is generated based on event timing, which is more akin to what an actual ecosystem, how it behaves, which is through feedback loops. And the main differences in events that, the balances of events that happen are considered a type of phase transition. And phase transition is, by definition, a shifting in states, and this balance is between what you could say is the predictable, periodic, and the chaotic, unknowable. This intersection of these two states is where the most interesting complexity lies, and by trying to create a balanced and changing ecosystem, that is the sweet spot that we're trying to hit with our system's behavior. And so just to explain a few basic rules of the system that we have built is the agents must eat to live. They behave more intensely and dramatically once they are together and swarming. And third, if they live long enough, they will actually reproduce, and they will create more of themselves over time. And yeah.
So I guess to speak slightly about the technology, the system is built in Unity 3D, and it communicates with a patch that we built in XMSP and a patch that we've built in Ableton Live right now. So I think it's best if we just watch the composition right now, and we can talk about it more afterwards or field any questions at that point.
Yep.
Can we dim the lights a little bit, do you think?
Okay, your screensaver.
Oh, what is that?
Actividades. No, you're on a different desktop now.
I know. Can you get on this desktop?
Yeah.
Okay, it just has to go to the other one. There we go. Okay. You might have to rebang. Ready for it. We're good.
Yeah. Gracias.
Gracias. So yeah, this is not a video that you just watched. Each one of these is a unique performance, and if we were to watch it again, which we won't, it would happen differently. Basically what you're seeing is, at the moment, is two species. We have the kind of larger insect species, or by larger I mean larger in numbers, they're smaller, and they react to a kind of predator that comes in and attacks them. We have 3 cycles of it with 3 buffers reloading so that you could see them as 3 different predators. And at the end, they swarm together to defeat this predator at the end of each cycle. So essentially, the predators will reproduce when they've eaten enough food, and by food it's the little insects. And then once they become a large enough species or swarm, the insects will retaliate and they'll kill the predator. So
Yeah.
that's the general compositional structure that we apply to the music. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What else can we say?
That's about it. Yeah, that's the basis of it. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going to see if they have some questions.
Okay.
I have just 2 words to say then about your. Bueno, yo creo que en esta presentación podemos evidenciar cómo el proceso creativo es infinito, cuál es el alcance que puede tener el proceso creativo. Aquí en esta presentación y en el trabajo particular que han hecho Mike y Christian, pues se ve cómo desde la formación de ellos trabajan un lenguaje nuevo y logran unir, congeniar y sacar de ese análisis de lo artificial y de lo natural unos elementos que le permiten sacar un resultado, una performance. Creo que todo el trabajo que se ha venido presentando en este día trata justamente de mostrar cómo esos mundos tan normalmente separados entre ellos, la ciencia y el arte, en realidad son 2 elementos conceptuales que están mucho más cerca de lo que nosotros creemos. Entonces, pues esta es tal vez una pequeña interpretación de parte mía sobre tanto el trabajo que han presentado ahorita Mike y Christian como lo que hemos oído durante este día. Pero pues bueno, los invito a que si quieren hacer alguna pregunta puedan aprovechar la presentación y la presencia aquí de nuestros 2 invitados. No sé si tienen preguntas. Bueno. ¿Sí? Sí, ok, perfect, gracias. Sí,
Maybe you can
since
turn
20 years ago, there was something called ¿Cuál es la palabra
Acusmática.
exacta? Acusmática. Is that inspired in acusmática?
Well,
Yes.
we study electroacoustic composition, and acousmatic and electroacoustic composition are almost synonyms. So this is sort of an acousmatic composition in a way. We consider it a soundscape composition, which could be as like a subgenre of acousmatic music, I guess. Yeah.
Natural, acusmática natural, naturala, yeah.
Yes, I was studying that at my basic studies when I was at the university.
Okay,
You give me recuerdo, I remember. I remember for my studies. Thank you.
okay, yes.
Good, thank you,
absolutely.
thank you.
¿Alguna otra pregunta? Yo creo que esto es lo que podríamos también nombrar como lo que se denomina paisajes acústicos, paisajes acústico-visuales, ¿sí? Entonces, si no hay más preguntas, les pido 5 minutitos de paciencia. Vamos a hacer ahorita la conexión con otros estudiantes que estuvieron, al igual que Mike y Christian, acá en el mes de junio en un taller que se llamó Field School, solo que ellos no pudieron venir a Colombia y están en Canadá. Nos vamos a conectar vía Zoom con ellos para que el profesor Ricardo Alfarra, quien manejó este taller y quien dirige, digamos, estos proyectos, haga una breve introducción y luego podamos también oír a los estudiantes que estuvieron en Colombia comentando esa experiencia y los proyectos que realizaron. Entonces, por favor, 5 minuticos de paciencia. Gracias.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias. I'd like to thank Utadeo and the Image Fest for having us. It's very nice to be here. And Ricardo Dalfara, who maybe is watching this on the internet. Thank you guys for being here.
Just take this.
Conectamos entonces el Zoom a esa pantalla.
¿Listos? I'm Christian.
Okay, sorry, forgot. Okay, no.
Here you go. I got this.